When you are in the gym, how long should you rest between sets for the best results, and why? Well, I'll tell you what I think. I'll tell you what works for me. Hey, you, it's AD Roundtree. How are you? Welcome to this, your Tuesday edition of the show. Tuesday, the 1st of March. A whole new month. And like every day that goes by, your Tuesday, that's another step that you have taken forward. You're doing awesome. Hang in there. You got this. You are a badass. And if you need something, if there's anything I can do for you to make your Tuesday better, hit me up. I'm here with you. I'm here for you. At ADSXE is where you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at ADSXE. Put it in your phone now in case you need it later. Well, it's March 1st, and as you may hear in my voice, the spring allergies have kicked in with a vengeance this year. So if you hear me snort, sneeze, or be forced to take a sip of water like this, bubbly, that is why. Thank you so much to everyone that's decided to support the podcast on Patreon. You can do that too, patreon.com/ADSXE if you want to kick in. As I've always said, most of these conversations that you and I are having center around mental health. And, well, I think these conversations should be free for all people for all time. So I'll never put the podcast behind a paywall. I'll never charge a subscription fee. But if you did want to support, you can do that at patreon.com/ADSXE, where you can also listen to commercial-free episodes. So, as always, I preface any health, exercise, or fitness talk on the podcast by saying, I don't know what I'm talking about. I can only tell you what's worked for me. I'm not trying to be a fitness influencer, as some people have suggested I should do. Why? Well, because quite frankly, I'm not super into fitness. I exercise regularly, and I know what works for me, but I don't really know what's going on. And it's not the hugest part of my life, but it is a vital part of my life. And I have found that the more you look after your body, the more your body will lead your mind in productive places. And the mental health benefits of exercise are just, well, they're, for me and a lot of other people, they're really, really significant. But like I said, every single time I get a health and fitness question on the podcast, it's invariably after people have gone on Instagram and seen my before and after picture, where I went from being fat to not so fat, lost 50 pounds. And I stress this every time we talk about this stuff, it's important to recognize that 50-pound weight loss that you see in a picture where I go from being your tubby, chubby, wubby friend to being reasonably ripped and in good shape, that's a year's worth of work there. I lost 50 pounds, which sounds like a lot, and it is, but it really equates to about a pound a week. So it was a pretty gentle, not crazy, not over the top process. It involved eating less and moving more and lifting some weights. And I think consistency is key. A lot of people don't want to hear that it takes time, but not only does it take time, but if you give yourself time to get in shape, well, then you're in a much better place to set yourself up for success. If you give yourself a whole bunch of unrealistic expectations, oh my gosh, it's June, July 4th, I've got to be on the beach. Well, I'm going to lose 50 pounds in a month. That's going to lead to some crazy, irrational behavior and not good results, I'm guessing. And there's a pretty good chance that it'll leave you feeling discouraged. But if you go, all right, I ate my way through Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year, and there was a whole lot of chocolate consumed on Valentine's Day, but now it's February and I need to get in shape, and you want to give yourself until the summertime to do that, well, then you're off to a much more promising start. The easier you can make it on yourself, the more you're likely to keep going. And it's the consistency. It's keeping going. It's, getting off track one day and realizing it doesn't matter because you're going to get right back on track the next day. That is what is going to get you to the place you want to be, which sort of segs into this question I got from Michael. Michael says, hey, AD, I've started your workout program. I would call it an exercise program. Something about calling it a workout program seems so knuckle draggy to me. But I've started your workout program. And not that I think you're knuckle draggy when you say workout, but I feel knuckle draggy when I say, I'm going to go work out. No, I always say, I'm going to go exercise. Working out is something that buff people do. I'm just trying to, live a long, healthy, happy life. But here's the thing. Michael says, I've started your workout program. I'm loving it. It's great to have a plan that's easy to follow from someone who's not on steroids and trying to sell me something. Yeah, there is a lot of that on the internet. If you go to Google and say, I want to get in shape, or I want to lose weight, or I want to lose fat, or I want to build muscle, you will encounter all manner of people trying to sell you all sorts of things. And there's all sorts of contradictory information out there. Now, the workout program that Michael's talking about is not my program. I didn't come up with it, but it's the program that I use, the program that I've always used, the program that got me in shape, the program that keeps me in shape. It's some very, very basic stuff, 3 days a week, consisting of kind of old-timey things, what we call compound movements, which incorporates a whole bunch of muscles all at once as opposed to focusing on one specific one at any time. Things like the bench press, the deadlift, over-the-head shoulder press, weighted pull-ups, and squats. I think that's about it. I'd have to look at my sheet, but you'll notice there are not a whole bunch of curls for the girls built in there. They are exercises that hit a lot of muscle groups all at once. It takes about 45 minutes 3 times a week. And if you combine it with the right nutrition and you stay consistent with it, I have a pretty good feeling that you will see some results that make you happy. And it's not my workout. I got it from a guy on YouTube called The Last Natural, who I liked for the exact same reason Michael's talking about. He wasn't trying to sell me something. His program was on there. Obviously, he was trying to get YouTube views, but he was sort of anti-fitness industry. He wasn't trying to sell people stuff. He wasn't a roided out freak. And he also... I'm not implying that if you are on steroids, you are a freak, but he's not a roided out freak of nature who has achieved a physique that is beyond what is possible naturally, if that makes sense. But anyway, he's also a nurse, so he knows something about the human body, and he had a very basic, simple, easy to follow workout program, which is one I started running years and years ago. I can send it to you if you email me. I am here with you. I am here for you at gmail.com, or you can look him up on the YouTubes. It's good stuff. He's pretty funny as well. But yeah, like I said, Michael said, I started your workout program. I'm loving it. It's great to have a plan that's easy to follow from someone who's not on steroids and trying to sell me something. I have 2 questions. How much weight should I be adding to each exercise each week? And how much rest should I take between sets? I've been resting for about a minute, but my friends say I'm an idiot and I should be doing my sets faster to get my heart rate up. Now, here's the thing. There's a couple different questions here. And again, I can't tell you what's right. Not a trainer, not a doctor, but I can tell you what's worked for me. In terms of the amount of weight that you should be adding to the exercise each week, what he's talking about is the program that I've been running for years is predicated on basically trying to do a little bit more each time you're in the gym, trying to add some weight to the bar with every exercise whenever possible. Now, what I find is the best way is to build things up slowly. You're going for what's called progressive overload, meaning you are progressively overloading your muscles, and because of that, you are going to see some growth, some gains, bro, if you will, and some strength gains to be sure. I try and add as little weight as possible every time I go up. I don't want to take a huge jump up and put myself way beyond my capabilities. What I'm looking to do is just a little more than I did last time, every single time. And for that reason, if your gym doesn't have them, Most do now, but if your gym doesn't have them, it could be worth you investing in some, well, I think they call them micro plates, small plates that are 2.5 pounds each. Little tiny silver dollar looking things, pretty much. And with all of those, the idea is to go up 5 pounds each time. Your bench press, for example. If you bench press 150 pounds, 3 sets, 5 reps, well, the next time you should try and bench 155 pounds. And the next time, 160 pounds. And every single time you hit that exercise, you're adding 5 pounds more, which doesn't sound much. 2.5 pounds on either side of the bar when you're bench pressing looks like nothing. But you'll be surprised how quickly it adds up. And when you take things incrementally in small steps like that, I think you stand a much better chance of gaining strength. I'll give you a perfect example. When I got into the gym, part of this workout plan was pull-ups. I could not do a single pull-up. And what I did instead was I did those lateral bar pull downs, and I just added 5 pounds every single time I could, until eventually I was lifting my own body weight. And once I was lifting my own body weight, I was like, all right, let me try a pull-up. And I could do one. And then I started adding pull-ups to the thing, so I could do pull-ups to my sets, so I could do 3 sets of 5 pull-ups. And eventually, after I did that, I added 2.5 pounds to a metal chain that was hanging around my waist. It looked ridiculous. I was doing weighted pull-ups, but it was amazing because I was doing 3 sets of 5 pull-ups with 5 pounds around my waist. And just a few months before, I couldn't do a single pull-up. And there I was, knocking out 15 with some extra weight. And then I added 2.5 more pounds the next time, and 2.5 more pounds the time after that. And I've been exercising pretty regularly for a while now, but I can do 3 sets of 5 reps of pull-ups with 75 pounds dangling from my waist, which is a quantum leap from where I started. And if you add weight slowly and incrementally, it piles on quickly. If I was to put that 75-pound weight belt around my waist and try and do a pull-up right off the bat, I would have been discouraged. I wouldn't have gotten one done, and I probably would have hurt myself. So in terms of how much you should add to the bar every single time, I'd go for the smallest amount of weight possible and just keep building it and building it and building it until eventually you do max out. There's only so many increments of 2.5 pounds you can add to the bar before you're doing something reasonably Herculean. And when you do hit a sticking point, don't feel bad, back it down a little bit, and, maybe not all the way, but back it down a little bit and do your best to come back stronger. And when you finally do hit your max weight, which I'm guessing might be a ways off, you can work on adding more reps if you can't add any more weight. But the important part is to do things slowly and to do things consistently. And that, my friend, as far as adding weight to the bar, is what I think will get you where you're going. It's what got me where I was going. And I've seen humongous strength gains from it. Like I said, I couldn't do a single pull-up when I started working out. Now I can happily bash out 3 sets of 5 with 75 additional pounds hung around my waist. Bear in mind, over the course of time, I also lost 50 pounds, so it's not as impressive as it sounds. But nevertheless, try getting some microplates if your gym doesn't have them and adding 2.5 pounds to the bar every single time. And just take it slow, go easy on yourself, and I think if you stay consistent, you will see the results that you've been looking for, and you'll probably see them faster than someone who piles on a whole bunch of weight, tries really hard, either gets discouraged or maybe injures himself and then has to take a break from the gym. So that might be the way to go. Try it out. Let me know how it feels. And if anyone wants to add to this, you can do it in the comments section on Facebook or on Patreon or on YouTube or wherever this podcast is posted, and we can all help Jeff get where he's going. Now, your next question. How much rest should I take between sets? Excuse me. Jeff says, I've been resting for about a minute, but my friends say I'm an idiot and should be doing my sets faster to get my heart rate up. Okay, so there's no one right way to do stuff. Getting in the gym, moving more, eating less, even moving more and eating less if you're not in the gym. This is going to help you get where you're going. And I certainly understand what your friends are talking about. When you're doing that circuit training stuff where you're trying to get through your sets and your reps as quickly as humanly possible, and it's like running a bit of a marathon in the gym. And you are certainly putting the work in. There's no two ways about it. I have a very different approach to things. Your friends are talking about getting the heart rate up and essentially turning your time weight training into cardio as well and building some real endurance. And there is absolutely zero wrong with that. The reason I don't do it is because there's two reasons. I don't think it's fun. I don't want to feel like I'm going to die every single time I leave the gym. I want to leave feeling better and stronger. And yeah, you will have to put some work in, but here's the thing. I view cardio and lifting weights as two separate things. I think of lifting weights as something that you do to build strength and build muscle. I think of cardio, which your friends say you're missing out on by taking longer rest times between sets, as something that you do to burn fat. These are two separate entities to me, two separate sets of activities. And my approach is this. I like to rest for about 90 seconds between sets. And I'll tell you why. First and foremost, it means you're not doing this crazy exhaustive workout, which to me isn't fun. A lot of people enjoy that. I'm not one of them. Like I said, have a fitness program based on taking it easy on myself. So that's thing number one. I don't want to feel like I've run a half marathon when I'm done. The other thing is I like to give myself 90 seconds between sets because I really want to give my muscles time to recover. And I want to get the most out of every set that I do. And, I used to rush through my workouts if I had something I was going to do. But I noticed something. I noticed if I rushed through them, trying to do 3 sets of 5 of one weight, chances are that third set, I wouldn't make it all the way. I wouldn't get the most out of it. I wouldn't have completed the lift or the pull-up at the very end of it the way I could have. And so I like to really give myself a chance to get my strength back and get the most out of every last lift and every last set. Does that make sense? By giving myself a little bit more time to recover, 90 seconds, I feel like I'm putting myself in the best position to build strength and muscle. Now, there's a lot of people that will tell you you should go longer than that between sets to really give your muscle a chance to recover so you can really get the most out of every last rep and every last set. But then you're looking at something that becomes time consuming. I find that 90 seconds or so between sets is a good way to be. And if you wind up waiting longer, then I think that's okay as well. But 90 seconds is what I shoot for. And it's not really the end of the world. You don't have to time yourself. I really, like I said, I believe in taking it easy on yourself and not being rigid and having so many rules. The important thing is that you get into the gym and you do 3 sets of 5 and you give those 3 sets of 5 everything you've got. It's not so much, oh man, I took 120 seconds to 90 seconds between these 2 reps. I'm not doing this right. And I know a lot of people that feel that way. And those are usually the people that I find tend to step away from the gym after, burning themselves out because they're getting stressed out. Now look, it's work. It's hard work just getting to the gym. It's hard work doing the work. It's hard work, being organized and tracking your calories and all this sort of stuff. It's Not easy. That's why a lot of people don't do it. So I work on making it as easy and manageable as I can for myself and as fun for myself along the way. So there you have it. I would give yourself 90 seconds between sets. Now, on the cardio thing, your friends are talking about the benefits you get of doing these sets quicker. So your heart rate is up, you're sweaty, or you're out of breath. More is taken from you with all of this stuff. And you are burning fat at the same time. Like I said, I like to separate building strength and muscle from burning fat. Cardio is something you do to burn fat. Lifting weights is something you do to build that strength and that muscle we were talking about. So however you want to get your cardio in, go for it. I like a long walk. I like getting my 10,000 steps in, if at all possible. I find that when I do sort of like very aggressive cardio, it's interesting because the point of cardio is to burn some extra calories for a lot of people. Now, obviously there are great health benefits. It's good for your heart, your lungs, your respiratory system. It helps you live a longer, healthier, happier life, reduces risk of cancer if you get cardiovascular exercise, if you get your heart pumping and you get the blood moving. There are so many benefits to it, and absolutely, this is something that you should do. But a lot of people, they just want to look and feel good, so they're trying to lose weight. And one thing I've discovered about cardio is that if you go after it hard, if you get on the treadmill, or if you get out and you run hard, or you elliptical hard, or you bike hard, if you really, really get your sweat on and you go for, I don't know, however long it is you go. After one of those sessions, I feel like I've worked really hard, I'm sweaty, I'm a mess, and I deserve food, and I'm ravenous. I find that, aggressive, fast-paced cardio makes me hungry. And well, a lot of the time, the goal of the cardio is to help you lose some weight. There's nothing wrong with getting your heart rate up. There's nothing wrong with pushing yourself doing cardio, but, well, aggressive cardio tends to make you want a snack, or at least that's the way it is for me. And that's kind of contradictory to what it is you're trying to do. If you do a half hour on the treadmill going all out and you go home and go, I'm starving, I'm going to have like 3 peanut butter sandwiches. Well, guess what? Your cardio went away and then some in terms of the benefits of it. Weirdly enough, I find that leisurely walks actually do a little something to curb my appetite. I don't know why. I don't know what the science is behind it. But if you are treating cardio as something you're doing to lose fat, I'm a big fan of walking. I'm a big fan of anything that makes it easy on you. Plus, there's great benefits to walking. There are so many scientific papers that have been written on the benefits of taking a walk, preferably a long walk. You don't have to do that fabled 10,000 steps a day. I do because I'm kind of obsessive compulsive, and 10,000 is a nice round number, and sometimes it's a little more, but I always try and get to 10. It's difficult because it's time consuming, but you don't have to do that. If you are like me, you probably have something on your phone that tells you how far you've walked, how many steps you've taken, and how many approximate calories it is you've burned. So like taking that long walk, I think that's a good thing to do. I will say this, though. I don't tend to do cardio on days where I am lifting weights because, quite frankly, I don't have enough time in my day. If you do like to do that, especially if you're going to do some aggressive cardio that kind of tires you out, if you want to look, 10,000 steps is 10,000 steps. If you run it quickly versus if you walk it briskly, you're going to still have taken those 10,000 steps. But I will tell you, I would advise that you leave your cardio until after you've lifted the weights. I've found that if I do cardio first, then typically I can't lift as much. I'm not hitting sort of those personal bests that I would hit if I went in sort of fresh as a daisy. So there you have it. I would advise adding approximately 2.5 pounds to the bar every single time you go to do that exercise. Eventually, when you max out, drop it down by like 20-30% and try and break through that plateau. And if you do hit your ultimate weight where you're not getting past it, try and add another rep at the end of the set. If you're doing 3 sets of 5, try doing a set of 6 and seeing how that goes. And eventually you should break through those plateaus. I mean, obviously, there is a point at which you won't be able to lift any more weight because you and I are not super people. But nevertheless, 2.5 pounds to the bar, well, 5 pounds if you're bench pressing at a time. And, well, you'll progress much quicker and much more consistently that way. Rest times between sets, I advise 90 seconds. And I think that you can go easy on yourself if it's a little longer than 90 seconds. That doesn't really matter. If you are going less than 90 seconds, I'm going to guess that you find your lifts are not as complete. You won't get your chin over the bar when you're doing those pull-ups every single time. And I think you stand yourself a better chance of building muscle and strength if you give yourself more rest time. Or you could do what your friends say to do and, do a bunch of circuit training and really get after it. But to me, that does not sound like good times. Anyways, I hope this is helpful. If you are a trainer, if you're a doctor, if you are yelling at your speakers right now going, oh my God, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, please correct me in the comments section or shoot me an email. And this is what the show is about. It's about coming together, talking out what we're going through and getting each other through. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for being a part of my radio family. As always, this time that you and I spend together, it's the best part of my day. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. Have a great one. Later.